Admit. Very good morning. Today we are going to see about flow control. What is the flow control in your data link layer? How it will work? Okay. We'll wait for 2 more minutes. Others to join. Total 108 participant has joined. If anybody out of this room, please let me know through chat. 411 joining. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about flow control. Flow control is a mechanism or a process that tells whenever I'm sending the data from sender to receiver. Sender is capable of 10 frames per second. It can send 10 frames at a time to the transmitter, to the receiver. But receiver is capable of taking only 2 frames per second and 2 frames per second. Wait a minute. Okay, 2 frames per second. This meanwhile, what will happen if I am sending 10 bits per second, 10 frames per second? The receiver has capable of only 2 bits per second, 2 frames per second. In this case, what will happen? I will send 10 MB, 10 frames to the receiver end. My channel or my link would be busy with that 10. Why? My receiver is not capable of taking that particular. The flow control is a mechanism is saying that my receiver has to say that please wait until I am not able to send you. If I am not sending acknowledgement till that, you don't send any frames to me. That means every time whenever you are sending any message, you should get an acknowledgement from the receiver to sender, so that then it can send next frame to me. Otherwise, what will happen? It will send 10 frames at a time, but my receiver is not capable of taking that particular thing, and it is not able to processing that information. In that case, there may be a chance of losing all the things, and my channel may be busy with my 10 frames, which is not the things. What is the reason of having flow control in your data link layer? Okay, the first point, what are the reasons of having flow control? If we are taking these all things, flow control, error control, and all the things as a software. That means while you are creating an application, you are creating either WhatsApp application or your Skype application, you have to take care of these data link, flow control, and all the error control mechanism into your language. That may be either you are using C, Java, whatever language if you want, you can use. That is the according to your language neutrality in your computer world. Okay, that is while you are creating that particular thing, you have to follow these procedures, protocol. Otherwise, what will happen? There may be a chance of having overwhelming in the particular thing. The channel or your link may be busy with some other things. That's the reason you have to follow your flow control and error control mechanism that we are going to discuss. What are the reasons behind the flow control thing? Data must not overwhelm at receiver. That means data must not be bottlenecked at the receiver end. You cannot send more data which cannot be handled by the receiver. Okay, limited speed and limited memory at receiver end. Why? Your server is capable of sending lots of information at a time. That means thousands of GB per at a time, but while the client is capable, is it is his mobile phone or his computer can have the RAM of the particular device. NIC card is capable of taking 10 Mbps or 2 Mbps or 5 Mbps, like that. And whenever you are sending 1000 GB of data, capable your sender is capable of 1000 GB of video at a time, but the receiver can have only 100 GB or 200 limited memory in his laptop or in his mobile phone. Okay, that is, there is a limitation at the receiver end, but the sender may have biggest configuration. Because of that, they may have different speeds. But whenever I'm saying that, that's the reason there is a limit must be informed whenever it reaches the threshold. Whenever you are using YouTube now, that must be buffered after playing some time, because of you are not capable. Whenever you are accepting the data, your video, you are not capable that particular data is processed and it can be played on your display properly. That's the reason you have to be slow down. That server must be slow down or stop it temporarily, and it will buffer once again, and it will clear your buffer memory, and it is going to start the new start, and it is going to play well after 5-10 minutes. This is the reason your flow control works. When you are viewing your YouTube channel or some other video channels in your thing, it will happen your capable, your sender, your receiver is capable of sending that my buffer is full, please wait for some time. It won't buffer for end of the video. If the your mobile is very capable and it is very high end mobile, in that case only it is going to buffer all the video. If it is 1 GB or 1 hour movie, in that case it is going to buffer all the video. But otherwise what will happen, it will buffer for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. After that it will wait for complete that video to play. After that it is going to buffer for next 5-10 minutes. Yes or no? You have noticed this thing in your YouTube? Yes or no? Okay, that is the third one. Incoming data must be checked before it can be used. Yes or no? Whenever you are the sender will send whatever you are asking for to send, but receiver has the responsibility to check before that particular data is used to, and it must send to next layer, that is network layer, top layer of the data link layer. It has to check before that particular. You are getting the frames one by one, one after another frame is coming, but it is not transferring. Why? It has to check, is there any errors are there, is there any bit single bus errors are there, single bit errors are there. It has to check whether it is finding that it is the exact match, then only it is going to transfer that. The processing the data checking the data processing will take some time. Rate of incoming must be slower than rate of transmission. Your transmission speed can be 1000 GB per 1 gigabit per second also, but your incoming must be slower. Why? You're capable, whatever the device you are using, according to that device only it can be used. For all these 5 things, we need to have, your receiver must have some block of memory. That means your RAM or your machine must have the some block of memory into your RAM, so that it can be used, called as buffer space. That means if the sender is sending 100 frames per second, it has to, every time it has to check each and every frame. In meanwhile, it has to store that frames which are coming to the receiver to be stored in the block of memory, that is called buffer space must be there in the receiver end. Otherwise what will happen, every he will send 10, but I will take only one frame and I will process that thing, I will forward to the next. What other 9 would be discarded. Okay, other 9s would be discarded. Meanwhile, he has sent already 9. So I will again my receiver sends an acknowledgement that I have received only one frame. You have to send again all the 9 frames. Okay, like this it will happen forever. Your channel must be busy because of a retransmission. Okay, if the buffer begins to fill up, if the buffer, if I have 5 MB, okay, if I have If the buffer begins to fill up, in that case, if I have 5 MB of buffer space, in that case, what I will do, I will um, I have to, my receiver has to tell the sender, please stop or slow down, my buffer is already filling and it is reached to threshold point, so please slow down or stop temporarily to the receiver. Okay, next we are going to see error. What is error control? It means the both error detection and error correction. In this, it allows the receiver to inform the sender any frame lost or damaged. In this case you are going to your protocol or your software device, or your software, whatever the app you are using, that must inform the sender there may be a chance, or there may be a frame lost or damaged frame you got. In that case, it allows your error control mechanism allows you to, the receiver has to send information to the sender. Okay, and it coordinates for retransmission. If it got, my receiver got the damaged frame or lost a frame, in that case it will coordinate with your sender and retransmission would happen. If the error detected at the receiver end and specific frame is retransmitted, this process is called as automatic repeat request. Please remember this word, automatic repeat request. Automatic repeat request. This is the word whenever you are detecting, your receiver detecting any issue in frame related issues, retransmission, that particular thing, if it is the frame is retransmitted from the sender to receiver, in this case it is called as automatic repeat request. Okay, now coming to the protocols. Okay, we have seen flow control, error control mechanism, this particular thing we have seen, framing also. And whenever you are saying protocol, your data link, when you are developing an application, whenever you are developing an application, in that particular application you have to follow these data link layer things with the help of your any language, that may be C or D, C++, any language you have to use. And you have to, your data link layer must have all this protocol, it has to follow all this protocol, then only your transmission would be go smooth to the other end. Otherwise there may be a chance of having hacking, or there may be a chance of having overwhelming at the receiver end. There may be every time you are retransmitting the data, that means your network would be very busy and the receiver may not be happy with your services. In that case, your protocol data link layer can combine framing, flow control, error control to achieve the delivery of data from one node to another. Here you see data link layer combines, it is going to, it is not we have seen framing, okay, error controlling mechanism. Okay, we have seen today flow control, what is the need of, why we need the flow control. Here we are going to, your DLL, data link layer protocol, combines all these three into one thing to achieve the fast delivery and the proper delivery from one node to another node. Okay, the protocols are normally implemented in the software by using one of the common programming language, either it is C or C++ or Java, according to that common programming language. To make language free, we have to discuss the pseudocode or the algorithm of each protocol in these chapters, or we are going to discuss about, we are not specifying the, if we are going to go with C or Java or some other language, we are going to see the algorithm, simple, what is the pseudocode, what would be the pseudocode of that particular thing, what is the algorithm of that particular thing, how you are going to do, that is the thing we are going to see, not the perfect programming things are not we are discussing in this particular protocols. Okay, in today we are going to see the protocols, what protocols we are going to discuss about data link layer protocols we are going to see here. Here we have two types of protocols. We have two types of protocols for noiseless channels. Give me a minute. Okay, we have two types of channels. First channel is noiseless channel. Second channel is noisy channel. What is mean by noiseless channel? There must not be data lost. Okay, there is no restriction on the data transmission. That means if I can send 1000 GB of data at a time, it can accept. Okay, okay, and there must not be any restriction on the data loss. That means if I am sending one frame also, there is no chance of modifying any one single bit or busty bits or error kind of things would happen in your noiseless channel. Noisy channel, there must be some bottlenecking, and your error control, flow control would be there in your flow errors would be there in your noisy channels. But in noiseless channels, that is the ideal channel. Okay, ideal channel. In the ideal channel, we are going to see two protocols. Ideal channel, that is noiseless channels. Simplest protocol and stop and wait protocol. Okay, in noisy channel, that there may be a happening of there may be happening of overwhelming bottlenecking, and the error must be happen, and the flow will be disturbed in this noisy channel. But in the ideal channel, we are not having in this kind of issues. Okay, in noisy channels, we have stop and wait ARQ, automatic request, and go back N ARQ, selective repeat ARQ. Okay, these are the three protocols noisy channels. Two protocols, noiseless channels, simplest. Today we are going to discuss about noiseless channels, which are ideal channels of your protocols. Actually, there are no real world in the real world, there are no noiseless channels. That means ideal channels won't exist in real world. Okay, this point you have to remember. Noiseless channel. First, assume we have an ideal channel in which no frames are lost, no duplicated, or corrupt. We introduce two protocols for this type of channels. That means my channel is whatever my link between the sender and receiver. Okay, that is the ideal thing. Ideal thing, no frame loss, no duplicates, no corruption in that particular thing. So for this channel, we have introduced two protocols for this type of channel. So why we want to learn anyhow in real world, there is no noiseless channels now. Why you have to learn? Did you get this kind of doubt in your mind? Yes or no? Please respond, ma. Why there is no in real world, there is no noiseless channels? Why should I learn about this particular noiseless channel? No one got this kind of doubt. Okay, I got this particular doubt. I have searched for that particular thing. Why should I learn this particular noiseless channels? There is a situation. If I am in my home, okay, I am using my system. I have one laptop and one desktop. Okay, these two are connected through a cable, which is copper cable. RJ45 I'm using, all the this single cable, that's it. Okay, I don't want to depend on any other networks. I don't want to anything. I want to transfer whatever the information I have, I can transfer to my system to my laptop. In this case there is no that kind of thing, and all the duplication, correction. In that case, I can have my simplest protocol for my application, so that I do not have any interruption in between that. That is the 10-meter lengthy room is there. So I can have these two protocols, simple protocols, where there may be a not choice of your frame lost, duplicate, and corrupt. Simply think, whatever I'm sending from here to, it will go there. Okay, that is very well equipped, and both the machines are, both the laptop as well as my machine, both are very clear, and they are working properly. That means they are same memory, RAM, hard disk, and both are i3 processor, and all the information is clear. In this case, I will use this two protocol to transfer the data. Why? I need not to have there may be a chance of loss. Even though if I lost the data, I can directly talk to that particular system and I can verify that particular thing. I do not have duplicate. Why? I am sending through. Can you hear me right now? Is it clear now? Please respond, ma. Give me a chart. I will show. I will see. Okay. What are the cause of noiseless channel? Yes. I think you have listened what I have talked. If I have the machine from one within my campus or within my room, in that case there may be not having the frame loss, duplicate things, and my both the machines are in the same room with the same room, and the cable has the perfect ethernet cable which I am using from my machine, my laptop to my machine. In this case, this kind of private key thing, that is there is no chance of corruption. Also, I am not connected to the internet. Even I am not connected to internet. I just whatever I'm doing in my laptop or in my desktop, I'm transferring to my next machine. To for the safe purpose, I'm saving in that particular. My system or my laptop is not connected to the internet. In this case, in these kind of things, we can use these noiseless channels. It is a very private kind of thing. It is not the public, and we are not going into the my systems are not expected exposed to the public. In this case, I can use this noiseless channel. This application, I can develop an application for my room or my private company or my private peoples that which are working in the same room in the particular location only, with the using of that ethernet or that particular wi-fi only they are using. In that case, these simplest protocol and stop and wait protocols will be workful. Otherwise, what will happen if I am using for these simplest work is if I am using heavy protocols? In that case, there may be a chance of you are processing unnecessarily for loss of frames and duplicated that corrupted things. Why? My data is safe within the room only. I am not passing to the outside. My systems are connected, well equipped with that particular thing. In that case, I am going to use noiseless channels. Okay, we will see these two protocols today of your noiseless channel, simplest protocol and stop and wait protocols. Both the protocols we are going to see today. That's it. Okay, for today we are going to see these two, only these two channels. Okay, here the data in the simplest protocols, we are going to take the data from network layer to data link layer, and data link layer is not going to do anything. It is just directly transfer the data to the frame, and the frames to the my physical layer my physical layer sending to receiver. Okay, my what data link layer is going to do here you can see in the this diagram, request from the network layer. That means your data link layer, every time it is working continuously whenever the request came from the network layer. Okay, it is going to send the data sender side. It is going to send the data to the sender side through your physical layer. Okay, data frames, it is going to continuously, it is going to send the data frames to the sender side with the whenever the receiver end, what the data link layer will, in simplest protocol, what data link layer will do, this algorithm already always it is going to run on the receiver side. Notification from whenever the physical layer activates the data link layer, it is going to run that particular thing, it is going to send the particular things. Okay, and give me a minute. And your simplest protocol does not have flow control mechanism, error control mechanism. It does not have flow control. Why? It is the ideal channel. Okay, It is a unidirectional protocol. Unidirectional protocol in which data frames are traveling from only one direction. Here you see, from sender to receiver only. It is not, I'm not going to get any even I am not going to get the acknowledgement from the receiver. Just I'm throwing the data to the receiver. That's it. Okay. It is applicable when the receiver can never be overwhelmed. There is no chance of having overwhelming kind of thing, bottlenecking kind of thing won't be happen in the receiver side. Okay. First of all, no flow control, no error control in this simplest protocol. There is a unidirectional protocol. It is a unidirectional. That means whenever I'm sending the data, it will directly goes to the receiver end. I am not going to get any acknowledgement from that particular thing. I'm not even bothering about it has reached or not. Just I'm sending unidirectionally to the receiver end. Okay. There is no chance of having overwhelming. That means my both the machines are the same capability. So in this protocol, whenever I'm using, I'm not bothering about the machines also. I'm not bothering about the overwhelming problem. Just whatever the I'm getting the request, I will transfer the data to the receiver end. And receiver can receives any number of frames. That means how much data it can be, it will receive that particular thing in the short span of time, and it is short processing time. There is no that kind of things. It will receiver also accept the data, and it is going to how many number of your frames you are sending, it is not going to take care, and it is going to accept that thing, and it is going to process that thing, and it is going to send to the network layer without checking anything, error checking, all the things. It is not going to check. Just receive the data, it will forward to the next layers, that is network layer. If the data link layer, what it will do, it will remove the remove the headers of that particular thing, and it is going to forward to the next layer. Receiver side receives frames from the physical layer and extract the data and deliver to the network layer. Simply, it is not going to do anything. Just it will take the data from the physical layer, and it is extracting the data from the that frame, and it is going to forward to the network layer simply. Okay. What is the data transmission, how this data transmission would happen in this particular thing, that we are going to see in the next slides. Okay. First of all, we do not have error control, flow control. Just unidirectional data I'm transferring from sender to receiver in the simplest protocol. It has applicable when the receiver never overwhelmed. That means if you are sending 10 GB of data at a time, yeah, receiver is going to access. Okay. If it is sending 5 MB of data, it is going to accept. There is no overwhelming kind of bottlenecking kind of option in your receiver. Okay. DLL at the sender side gets data from network layer, makes the frames, and send it to that particular thing. Okay. Send it to physical layer. Physical layer, DLL receives the data, receiver's data, receives the site, and it receives the frame from the physical layer, extract the data, whatever the data is there, it will remove the header, and it will extract the data, and it will deliver to the next layer. It is not going to do, your DLL is not going to do anything, just simply taking that thing, and it is going to transfer. How this will happen, you will see the flow diagram. Your DLL is running at the sender side and receiver side. Whenever the request come from the network layer, it is going to it is going to make a frame with the header, trailer, and if it is variable length, it is going to add the bits or bytes at the end of the flags at the end of the data, and it is going to make the frame, and it is going to send to the receiver at the B side. Okay. What B will do at the arrival, request has come from the physical layer. Okay. It will accept the data, and it will extract the data. It will remove the header and footer, trailer, and all the things, and it will extract the data, and it will forward to the next level, that is network layer. This is the flow diagram of your data link layer simplest protocol. It is always running at the sender and receiver. Just whenever the request comes to from network layer, it will make the frame and it will send to the receiver simply. At the receiver, whenever it gets the arrival request from the physical layer, it will just get the information and remove the header and footer of that particular thing, and it will extract the information and it will forward to the next layer, that is network layer. Here we do not have any error control mechanism, frame loss mechanism. If I lost frame also, your data link layer is not caring about that particular thing. Okay, any doubts mark in this? Please let me know if you have any doubts. This is the ideal protocols. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Otherwise, I will move forward. With stop and wait protocol. Okay, your stop and wait protocol is the next protocol. Your stop and wait protocol is the next protocol in your ideal channel. Okay, it implements flow control mechanism. Your stop and wait protocol implements flow control mechanism in this particular thing. Okay, how this flow control mechanism will be implemented, that we are going to see. Okay, at the time of it, at the time there is either one data frame on the forward channel or one acknowledgement frame on the reverse channel. That means it is a half duplex link. That means whenever you are sending any data, one frame you are sending from the sender to receiver, in this stop and wait protocol, the receiver has to send the acknowledgement to that I have received this particular message. You can send again the data. I will show the here. In this case, first of all, I will send a frame. Whenever I receive the acknowledgement to my sender, then only I will send. I have to get the new request from the network layer. Okay, whenever I'm sending the frame to my receiver, whenever I get the receiver, I have processed that thing without any error checking. I will directly process that message and I will forward to the network layer, and I will wait. My sender is waiting for that acknowledgement to that particular. Till I am not getting the acknowledgement, I am not going to send any next frame to the receiver. Okay, in this channel there are it needs half duplex link. In this case, I'm using half duplex. That means one way it is going to take this particular thing, and it is going to wait until unless that particular acknowledgement comes to me. Okay, at a single point of time, it is going to send either frame or the receiver sends the acknowledgement at the receiver. Is it clear, ma? We will see the block diagram of that particular design of stop and wait protocol. Okay, get the data from the network layer, from at the receiver sender end. We are going to see the get the data from the network layer, and the data link layer, it is going to make a frame. Okay, send a frame, data frame, one single frame, data frame. It is going to forward to the receiver. Whatever the receiver has received the data frame. Okay, whatever the receiver received the data frame, after receiving that, but it is not going to check any error control things. It is directly forward to it. It will remove the header and footer, all the things, and it is going to forward to the next layer, that is receiver network layer. Okay, after receiving this, it is going to send the acknowledgement. Send frame is nothing but acknowledgement frame. Your receiver has to send an acknowledgement. I have received the data properly at the data link layer. It is going to send an acknowledgement frame to your sender. Whenever it receives that particular frame, it is going to, if it has any next data, next frame, it is going to send this particular thing. Stop and wait, stop and wait, stop and wait. It is going to, first it will send the information, it will stop, and it will wait for the acknowledgement. After it gets the acknowledgement, it is going to send another data frame to the receiver side. Okay, what will happen at the data link layer? Request from the network layer. First it got the request from the network layer. Okay, it is going to repeat for this process is going, this algorithm is going to run forever. That means continuously it is running this algorithm. Just whenever it is going to get the request, it notification from the particular thing, it is going to send the data to the physical layer. Through physical layer, it is going to send the receiver. Okay, if I get the notification from the physical layer, okay, here you have to another notification, that is the notification of your acknowledgement. Okay, here we are at the receiver end, we are going to send the event. The repeat algorithm receive algorithm for the receiver side, it is continuously running at the receiver end. Whenever the physical layer sends a notification, I have received a data, then it will it will create, it will directly remove the header trailer of that particular thing, tail of that particular data, and it extract the data, and it will forward to the next level. Okay, it is going to forward to the next level through the network layer. Okay, there is no here we are using hop duplex. That means one time it is going to that particular frame. While you are sending the particular frame, no one will come from the right side. That means from receiver to sender. Okay, hop duplex. That's the reason I draw two links. That means one from for sender, another for acknowledgement. This is the only one single link only. This is the only single link at a time. At a given point of time, it is going to send, either it is going to send data frame, or it is going to accept acknowledgement frame, the receiver to sender. Not both of them are not going to come in the same time. That means same link it is not going to pass. Okay, half duplex link it is going to use. Okay, any doubts in this, ma? Two protocols. Here, the next thing, flow diagram. The receiver, that's whatever we have discussed here. My data link layer continuously running the process forever. Whenever I get the request from the network layer, I'm going to send the forward to the receiver. At the receiver end, whenever it gets the arrival request, it is going to forward the message to the my network layer next above layer, and it is going to send the acknowledgement. Automatically it is going to send the acknowledgement to the sender. And at the receiving of the arrival, it is not going to do anything. My sender is not going to do anything at the arrival of my acknowledgement. Just okay, it goes the particular thing, I can send. It is it will start again, it will start the processing algorithm. It is going to run the algorithm till that it is the my sender is ideal. Here the frame 2, here it is there. Yeah, you can see this dots now. Till that it is going to wait for that particular thing. Okay, in the this particular thing, what will happen, the problems will occur in the next things, that how it will, I already send that particular message to my receiver, but the receiver is not sending me acknowledgement. In that case, what will happen? It will wait until that particular thing. That it is, we are thinking that it is the ideal channel. That should not happen. That is not happening in ideal channel. But if it is the real world, it won't like that. Okay, it won't be like that. If you are not getting the acknowledgement from the receiver end to sender end for the 10 minutes or 20 minutes, after 30 minutes, in that case, it is going to retransmit that thing In the next protocols we are going to see these kind of problems. If we are thinking that this is the ideal channel, there is no error, loss of message, there is no, that means power won't go in that particular meanwhile, and there is no issues and all the things in this particular thing. We are thinking that this is a particularly ideal channel, there is no issues in this particular thing. So we are discussing these ideal thing and noiseless thing. Okay, tomorrow we are going to discuss about noisy channels and all the things. Okay, meanwhile, if you have any doubts in these two, both the protocols, these are the simplest protocol. Simply first thing, it is going to send the data continuously, whatever the data frames. Here in the stop and wait protocol, we have the framing technique, so that after sending every frame, I expect some acknowledgement from the receiver to send. In the stop and wait protocol, in the simplest protocol, I am not even waiting for anything, just throw whatever the data is there, just throw the data to the receiver will accept according to its needs. Okay, if you have any that information, if you have any doubts in this simplest protocols, we are going to see. And these protocols, you are your total data link layer protocols you are going to develop in your software with the help of all the protocols. You have to, all the three things you have to take care. First, flow control, error control, and framing. These three combines into one thing only in data link layer while you are developing your own application. That is the computer application, software application, that is you are going to code in this particular thing, and you are going to apply all these things into one only. That comes under all the protocols, comes under these protocols, all the three things in comes under my these protocol only. My protocol here, I am taking the consideration of noiseless channels. That's the reason noiseless channel. That's the reason I am not considering flow control, error control. But if it is noisy channel, data link layer has to, your protocol, one single protocol has to consider the first framing. Okay, next after that transferring the data, framing of flow control and error control. Okay, your one single protocol has to consider all the things. Okay, one by step we are going to see these three protocol, noisy protocols, sorry, these three protocols, stop and wait ARQ, and go back N ARQ, and selective report ARQ. Okay, automatic repeat request, stop and wait, the same thing I have said now. If in the first case, give me a minute. In the first case, I am throwing the, here you see data frames are throwing from sender to receiver, overwhelming without any checking anything. It is sending all the data. I am not caring about whether that data frames has received at the receiver end or not. I am not checking. This is the one thing. Okay, when comes to the receiver end, stop and wait protocol, here if I am sending one data element frame to another way, another receiver, another end, but I have to receive the acknowledgement. I have to receive the acknowledgement at the sender end. Otherwise, I cannot send next request. Okay. In this protocol, we are assuming that I must get the acknowledgement. If the acknowledgement is not come to me, that means I have to wait until that particular acknowledgement. In this protocol, we are assuming that everything is fine. There is no issues in that particular thing. So I am considering this particular thing, and I am sending the, I'm waiting for that acknowledgement. Whenever I receive that acknowledgement, I will send another frame to the receiver. Okay, this is the biggest disadvantage. Okay, I have developed this particular protocol for ideal channels only, not the noisy channels. There may be a chance of something happens. Meanwhile, there may be something power fluctuation or something happened at the receiver end. It could not send an acknowledgement. That would be the very biggest problem for me. Okay, I'm waiting for that particular thing to get the message. That is the biggest problem, disadvantage of your thing. But here I'm thinking that my channel is very clear, my both the sender and receiver are the very idealistic persons. There won't be any issues in this two sender and receiver thing. So I have developed this particular, I means, yeah, IEEE candidates developed this kind of protocol to this particular thing. Okay, in the first thing I'm not even bothering that waiting also. Just I'm sending the data, whatever the data, 100 frames or 200 frames to the receiver, and I will throw that particular data to the receiver. Receiver has to accept the data and it has to utilize that data and it has to forward to the next data, next layers, network layer and the physical layers in the sender and receiver sides. Okay, clear ma? Okay, I'm stopping this. There's some technical glitch was there. I'm so sorry about that. I'm starting the activity, simple quiz. Please complete this quiz. Somewhat it is tricky. We have already discussed all the questions which are given in this quiz. Please read 1 or 2 times. After that only you are going to submit your options.
It is not clear, madam. It is breaking.
I'm unmuting my mic. Please complete your quiz and after that you can leave. Not a problem.